This is English shorthand dictation number 39. Dictation speed is 160 words per minute. Ready? Start. Generally, the first hour of a sitting of the Lok Sabha is devoted to questions, and that hour is called the question hour. It has a special significance in the proceedings of Parliament. Asking questions is an inherent and unfettered parliamentary right of members. It is during the question hour that members can ask questions on every aspect of administration and governmental activity. Government politics and the national as well as international spheres come into sharp focus as the members try to elicit pertinent information during the question hour. The government is put on trial during the question hour, and every minister whose turn it is to answer questions has to stand up and answer the administration's act of omission and commission. At the same time, through the question hour, the government is able to quickly feel the pulse of the nation and adopt its policies and actions accordingly. It is through questions in Parliament that the government remains in touch with the people, as members are enabled to ventilate grievances of the public in matters concerning the administration. Questions enable ministries to gauge popular reaction to their policy and administration. Questions also bring to the notice of the ministers many an abuse which otherwise would have gone unnoticed. Sometimes questions may lead to the appointment of a commission, a court of inquiry, or even a legislation when matters raised are grave enough to agitate the public mind and are of wide public importance. Questions are of four types: starred, unstarred, short notice questions, and questions addressed to private members. A starred question is one to which a member desires an oral answer in the House and which is distinguished by an asterisk mark. When a question is answered orally, supplementary questions can be asked thereon. Only 20 questions can be listed for oral answer on a day. An unstarred question is one which is not called for oral answer in the House and on which no supplementary questions can consequently be asked. To such a question, a written answer is deemed to have been laid on the table after the question hour by the minister to whom it is addressed. It is printed in the official report of the sitting of the House for which it is put down. Only 230 questions can be listed for written answer on a day. In addition, 25 more questions can also be included in the unstarred list relating to states under President's rule, and the total number of questions in the list of unstarred questions for a day may not exceed 255 in relaxation of the normal limit of 230 questions. A short notice question is one which relates to a matter of urgent public importance and can be asked with a shorter notice than the period of notice prescribed for an ordinary question. Like a starred question, it is answered orally, followed by supplementary answers. The question to a private member is addressed to the member himself, and it is asked when the subject matter of it pertains to any bill, resolution, or any matter relating to the business of the House for which that member is responsible. For such questions, the same procedure is followed as in the case of questions addressed to a minister, with such variations as the Speaker may consider necessary or convenient. The list of starred, unstarred, short notice questions, and questions to private members are printed in green, white, light pink, and yellow color respectively to distinguish them from one another. A member gives notice in writing addressed to the Secretary General of Lok Sabha, intimating one's intention to ask a question. Besides the text of the question, the notice states clearly the official designation of the minister to whom the question is addressed, the date on which the answer is desired, as also the order of preference in the event when a member tables more than one notice of questions for the same day. A member is allowed to give not more than 10 notices of questions, both for oral and written answers, in all, for any day. Notices received in excess of 10 from a member for a day are considered for subsequent day concerning that minister during the period of that session only. The normal period of notice of a question is not less than 15 clear days. However, the Speaker can relax the required minimum notice period of 15 clear days to protect the interest of the members. A short notice question can be asked with a notice shorter than 10 days, but the member has to state briefly the reasons for asking the question at such short notice. On receipt of the notice of a question, it is scrutinized to see that the designation of the minister and date of answer have been correctly mentioned in the notice. A preliminary ballot of identical questions is held and the member who obtains priority is deemed to have tabled the question. A computerized auto ballot is then held in respect of notices received in the secretariat at the same time to determine their inter se priority. Separate ballots are held for starred and unstarred questions. Starred, unstarred, and short notice questions are numbered separately and entered in separate diaries on the computer software. The next stage is to examine the notices of questions in the light of rules of procedure and conduct of business in Lok Sabha. Directions by the Speaker, provisions of the Constitution of India, and past precedent. A question is primarily asked for the purpose of obtaining information on a matter of public importance. Questions that contain arguments, inferences, or defamatory statements or otherwise refer to the character or conduct of any person except in his official or public capacity are not admitted. Besides, if the subject matter of a question is pending for judgment before any court of law or any other tribunal or body set up under law or is under consideration before a parliamentary committee, the same is not permitted to be asked. Questions making discourteous references to foreign countries with whom India has friendly relations are disallowed. Similarly, questions raising larger issues of policy are not allowed, for it is not possible to enunciate policies within the limited compass of an answer to a question. Questions containing more than 150 words or relating to a matter which is not primarily the concern of the Government of India are not admitted. Questions going into minor details of administration and day-to-day working of the government are also not permitted. Keeping the above rules and precedents in view, a question is admitted or disallowed. Typed copies of the admitted and edited questions and are then made out on a standard form. An advance copy of the admitted question is sent online to the ministry or department concerned so that they may on their side initiate action for collection of information asked for in the question to prepare a reply. A short notice question which is of wide public importance is first referred to the ministry concerned for furnishing factual information in the matter and also for indicating whether the minister concerned accepts the short notice and if so, what date will be convenient to him to answer the question. If the minister accepts the short notice and the matter sought to be raised is considered urgent by the Speaker, the short notice question is admitted and printed in separate list in light pink paper in order to distinguish it from the lists of ordinary questions. The short notice question is taken up after the question hour. Immediately on fixation of the dates of the sittings of a session of Lok Sabha, allotment of the days for the answering of questions relating to various ministries of the Government of India is made. For this purpose, the ministries are divided into 5 groups and fixed days are allotted to groups of ministries during the week. There is no question hour on Saturday, even if a sitting is fixed for that day. Separate lists are prepared for starred and unstarred questions which have been admitted. Admitted questions are entered in the list of questions for the day, for oral or written answers, as the case may be, in order of priority obtained in ballot with the orders of the Speaker. Not more than 5 questions are admitted in the name of a member for each sitting, of which not more than 1 is put down for oral answer. While compiling the list of unstarred questions, care is taken to see that 1 question of each member is included in the list of questions of that date. The remaining unstarred questions are thereafter put in the list according to inter se priority obtained in the ballot. A serial number is allotted to each question. Normally, not more than 20 questions are placed on the list of questions for oral answers, and not more than 230 questions are placed on the list of questions for written answers on any one day. The ministries are supplied with the lists of finally admitted questions at least 5 days before the date fixed for asking the questions. A member whose question has been admitted and which is included in the list of questions for oral answers for a particular day rises in one's place when the turn of the question comes and asks the question by reading out its number on the list of questions. The minister concerned answers the question. Thereafter, the member who had asked the question can ask only 2 supplementary questions.